What happens when you combine together the world-famous board game Ticket to Ride with the world-famous puzzle game Minesweeper? Chaos! Hello everybody, this is JavaMonk, and today I would like to showcase what happens when you combine two completely different games together. So this is part of a new series that I'm starting. I'm thinking calling this Cursed Game Modes. It's where I showcase various custom modifications that I make to board games and card games, which all these games, by the way, you can play on a public Minecraft server in Java Edition. It'll keep up with the updates. The IP is on the screen. So first off, what is Ticket to Ride? Ticket to Ride is a board game where you are playing on a map. The map has cities and it has train lines. The idea is that you want to place down train pieces on those lines. In order to do that, you'll be picking up different colors of train cards. And you'll also be given these ticket cards, which tell you to connect two different cities with a continuous path out of train lines that you created. And throughout the game, you'll get points doing various things like placing down train lines, completing tickets, or other things. Now, because Ticket to Ride is such an expansive, basically board game franchise, there's tons of different ways to modify this game. For example, you can play on different maps, not just an American map, but you could play on Nordic countries, or in Germany, or just in Europe. One thing I never really liked about the currently available online versions of Ticket to Ride is that some of the extra modifiers are locked to specific maps. And so I've detached them, and now you can activate all sorts of different ones, all sorts of different modifications on whatever maps that you'd like. So I have a lot of them. Some of them give you points, some of them make things harder to play, some things involve like you have to purchase technology. But the one that we're going to focus on today is Minesweeper. So first off, what is Minesweeper? Minesweeper is a puzzle game. Now I've already showcased Minesweeper in another video I made for the Summer of Math Exposition from last year, but I'm going to recap anyway. So Minesweeper is a puzzle game where you have a board. On this board, you either have numbers or you have mines. And the thing to know is that the number tells you how many mines are within a 3x3 area around that number. So for example, this number 3 tells you that in this 3x3 area around this 3, there are 3 mines, which in fact there are. That's what the flags are. And if you screw up, you blow up. And this basically just means that you lose, so you have to start over because you blew up one of the mines. You're not supposed to do that. And if you manage to clear the grid and flag all the mines, then you complete that grid, and you win. So how do you play Minesweeper on a Ticket to Ride board? Well, it's kind of a similar idea. Each city now will either have a number or it will have a mine. And the number will tell you how many cities that it's connected to have a mine. So for example, this 0 at Boston means that New York and Montreal definitely do not have mines. And that's because they are connected to Boston via train lines, so both of these cities are safe. Now, you reveal a city by placing a train line, and that will reveal both cities on either end of that train line. So eventually you'll get a board that kind of looks like this, and then you gotta do some logical reasoning. So for example, here in Montreal, Montreal has a 1, so that means one of the cities that is connected to it has a mine. Well, we know Boston doesn't have one. We know that's safe. We know New York doesn't have a mine, and we know Toronto doesn't have a mine. So the only mine is going to be at Sault Ste. Marie. So what you would do is you would flag that city. Now, flagging the cities doesn't necessarily mean you win, but it signals that you should not attempt to go to the city. Because if you do connect a train line to this city of Sault Ste. Marie, then you will explode. Now, when you explode, the game is going to end immediately So normally Ticket to Ride lasts all the way until somebody runs out of train pieces to place down, at which point everybody's tickets are analyzed. But here with this game, things could end prematurely if you don't logically reason things out well enough. And just FYI, you're still playing Ticket to Ride. So you still got to manage your train pieces, you still got to try to manage tickets. However, some of the cities could have mines, and so you cannot visit those cities. And so if you have a ticket that says you have to go to that city, well, tough tooties. You can't do that ticket.
And El Paso. Dang it, I needed to get to El Paso. This also means that Houston is not reachable.
Is unreachable. It's basically a dead city.
And by the time you reveal all the squares, you either figure out it's a mine or you reveal its number, you could get a map that looks like this. And so now you just got to figure out how to connect the cities that you're supposed to together without traversing through any cities that have a mine on them. If you reveal a mine, it'll place a gigantic TNT block, it'll make a nice big dramatic explosion sound, and that player will lose the game. And just FYI, the mines are placed randomly. There are 10 mines that will be placed on the map. So if you're playing a map that has a higher density of lines or more cities, then this will probably be easier. However, this is a very challenging version of the game. The clips that you see in this video were all provided very generously by CJ Purple Princess. Go check out CJ Purple Princess. She's got amazing survival content and has got some pretty cool film projects coming up. So there you go. That is Minesweeper on a Ticket to Ride board. Basically multiplayer Minesweeper combined with some high-stakes geography. How fun is that? So you can play this game, along with all sorts of other games, on the Tabletop Gaming Hub. It is in Java Edition, and it will always be keeping up with the updates. I also live stream from here every single Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. So I hope to see y'all there, because I love to play these games with viewers. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please let me know. If you have other ideas for some cursed game modes to either create or showcase, then let me know. And I'll see you next time.